So 2 years ago, I made a video basically stating that soybean futures was the future for trading, for day trading futures. And it's come on a lot since then. I use technology that we have already, the X-Brand we've had now for those 2 years and more. And I'm going to put the link down below for this video so you can actually in the description go and watch that original video. But now I'm going back to soybean futures because I've been reminded one of my apprentices has chosen soybean futures as his instrument. So my apprentices, I don't have many each year, they have to choose one instrument, get married to that instrument and understand it intimately and use lots of different strategies to trade it. And he has chosen soybean futures, ZS, and I think he's on week 22 now of the course. And we did a session today, and the session was on the X-Brad algo. And it was a really good session, short-term swing trading with X-Brad algo. And I wanted to go through on ZS. Obviously, I mean, the X-Brad algo works on any type of instrument, but I wanted to go through this example with ZS because I thought it was very relevant for educating our users and potential users of the X-Brad algo. So this is ZS on the NinjaTrader platform. Okay, so on this chart there's different bits of software. So down below is the bias depth heat map down here, which is our confirmation tool. These little pink zones that you see horizontally, that's our guardian zones. They're totally automatic support and resistance zones, and that's a 60-minute zone there. If I just click on 30, you'll see the 30 being added and then the 15-minute there. So we actually decided that the 60-minute on this 24-minute Heikin-Ashi time frame is the best for the purpose of this short-term swing trading. So it defines that operational landscape on the 60 minutes for those support and resistance zones. So there's three different bits of software combined together, very, very powerful, and I will put the links below in the description for this software. So let's go through this opportunity. So short-term swing trading is usually carry over the close, but you never carry over a weekend. That's the rule. Okay, so you can get in on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, but you've got to be out by the close on Friday, and that's the rule. So this is one just this last week. I'm making this video on a Sunday because his apprenticeship session is on Sunday mornings. And I want to go through this trade. So the X-Brad algo is designed to work with a Heikin-Ashi candle only. That's one thing. We have graded type of signals. We go 3, 4, 5, 6 star buys or sells. 6 star is so this is a confluence strategy. So there's with a 6 star sell, that's 12 points of control out of 12 that are all in confluence to give that 6 star buy signal. 5 is 11 out of 12, so you get it. So we also have to consider when we talk about recent behavior, we can see the sideways action that we get in here for ZS over these couple of days, and basically the software actually identifies the start of a 60-minute support and resistance zone here. So what's happened is in the recent past we can see this is the third test of that zone. That's the second, that's the first, that is here as well. So this basically we can see, if I just draw a line on here, that I'm not exactly showing you how the algorithm works, but what happens is when we see the lines connected here, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, it starts to print a 60-minute zone because it's being respected. Okay, so I just take that off. Only starts to print it when it's relevant. Okay, it's not relevant until it's been tested a number of times within a certain percentage and all those algorithmic things that we put in there. But basically that behavior now is strong. We try to come out down below there, but it comes back up, with force, and we do get the 5 and the 6 star buy signals. So the 5-star buy signal here, you look down the bias depth heat map, has 5 out of 6. So these are 6 time frames higher than this one that are basically looking at the bias, whether it's bullish, bearish or neutral. So with the expert algo, we're 5 out of 6 or 6 out of 6 is our criteria. Okay, so we've got a signal, we've got confirmation, and then the next bit is fresh air. The next 60-minute zone is all the way up there, lots of fresh air. So we get into this trade, one tick above the 5-star buy. There is a 6-star buy. More conservative entry would get us in around this point where the cursor is, but I've got 5 out of 6, got a 5-star buy, got lots of fresh air, I go. So this first entry is here. The stop loss is below the recent pivot, so there's 36 ticks risk on this, and for a short-term swing trade on a 24-minute time frame, that's a small risk, and that's what we see on soybean futures. So lots of fresh air, we get into this trade. The way to this the way to manage this trade is using the expert manager. You see this green ribbon here. Okay, this remains green all the way through. So this is one of the reasons why we stay in that trade. We do, and I'm not going to go into the ins and outs of the manager. I'm going to put the link in for the manager as well, but I'm also going to put the link in for the training for the manager. But this works on behavior during a move and understanding volume, average volume, higher than average, lower than average, and price action altogether. And you can learn to understand how to manage this trade. So we're in this, we're going long. We get a pivot and we get a pullback. Okay, we then start to come back through and we break that pivot here. This is the first time we adjust the stop. We adjust the stop just underneath this low pivot when we break this previous high pivot. So now we're risk free. Okay. At this point then, once we've broken it, we get a 6-star buy signal. This 6-star buy signal, look down below on the bias depth heat map, all 6 time frames are green. We've got the signal, we've got the confirmation, we've got lots of fresh air, so we add a second contract to this short-term swing trade, which then gives us an average holding position in the middle there. This one is where the white is here. This is where my final average holding position is, but when we basically average holding position, if you take this price, you take the first price, in the middle is your average holding position. So we're still at risk at that point because the stop is down here. That's fine, but it's a small risk. So then we move up, we go through the close. Remember, short-term swing trading, we're looking 2 or 3 days, sometimes just overnight, 24 hours, pulls back, goes through again. So once it breaks this previous high pivot, we adjust the stop under this low pivot. Remember, our average holding position is halfway between here and here at this time. So it's about this sort of price. So now we're locking in profit with those 2 contracts. Once we've gone through there, you see how it pulls back again. We go through there. And at this point, we get a 4-star buy, then a 6-star buy. So our entry for our third contract is up at this point here. Okay. Once we've entered that third contract, this white line is our average holding position at that point. But because we've broken this previous pivot here, we can adjust our stop to just underneath there, basically level with our entry. So we are now risk-free for 3 contracts. Okay. We're coming into the last day on Friday. It's moving, no pullbacks until this pullback here. And then once we break this previous high pivot, we adjust the stop to this point here. And then just before the close, it comes back down and takes out that trailing stop. That trailing stop here, okay, is 66 ticks. That's 66 ticks taken from that average holding position. But that's for 3 contracts. Okay, so 3 times 66 is basically your win, if you like. And this was on 1, 2, and in the third day we took out. So this is short-term swing trading, and the XBRAD algo is perfect for that. Yes, people use it for day trading, but for me personally, and what I teach my apprentices, is that the XBRAD algo is really your go-to tool for short-term swing trading. Again, we're using the bias depth heat map. We use the bias depth heat map for confirmations for any type of signal, whether you're scalping, day trading, and there's different settings. And with NinjaTrader, we have those automated support and resistance zones to trade in between, called the Guardian zones. If you are using the XBRAD algo and the bias depth heat map on TradingView or another platform, you're going to have to draw in those 60-minute support and resistance zones, and I've made loads of videos and they're on the YouTube channel for those as well. But the main point of this is soybean futures is getting hotter. Watch that original video that I made 2 years ago, and I described why it's hot, why it's a great futures contract to trade. And again, lots of different strategies work with this, but for short-term swing trading, XBRAD algo is perfect. So check out those links below for the XBRAD algo, the bias depth heat map. If you're a NinjaTrader user, get hold of those automated support and resistance zones on multiple time frames, and then the manager as well.